Hook. The phone started ringing at 4 a.m. By 5 a.m., the ticketing system had crashed. By 7 a.m., the tournament director was staring at numbers that made absolutely no sense. Bob Moran has been running the Cincinnati Open for years. He has presided over a $260 million transformation that doubled the size of the Lindner Family Tennis Center. He has welcomed a record 285,571 fans from all 50 states and 65 countries in a single tournament. He has watched Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, and Serena Williams pack the stands. He thought he had seen it all, but nothing, absolutely nothing, could have prepared him for this. Alexandra Eala hasn't even played a single point in Cincinnati yet. She has a first-round bye as the number 17 seed, her highest seeding ever in a WTA 1000 event. She isn't scheduled to step onto the court until Friday at the earliest. And yet, the demand for tickets to her matches has already broken every record in the tournament's 125-year history. The Lindner Family Tennis Center's center court holds 11,614 people. The grandstand holds 5,000. The Champions Court holds 2,300. But the organizers are scrambling to figure out how to accommodate a demand that has overwhelmed their systems, their stadiums, and their expectations. "We've never seen anything like this," Moran reportedly told his staff. "Not for Federer, not for Nadal, not for Serena. This is different. This is something else entirely." The numbers don't lie. In Washington, organizers revealed that at least 80% of ticket requests were related to Eala's matches. In Toronto, her opening match sold out within 30 minutes of being announced. The 10,000-seat Sobeys Stadium was packed with Filipino fans, their flags waving, their chants echoing through the arena. Now, Cincinnati is experiencing the same phenomenon, but on a scale that no one could have predicted. Welcome to the story of a young woman from Quezon City who has turned the tennis world upside down, and the tournament director who watched his ticket office explode because of her. August 13th, 2026. Mason, Ohio. The Lindner Family Tennis Center. The Cincinnati Open, the final WTA 1000 event before the U.S. Open, is about to begin. Tournament director Bob Moran arrives at his office expecting a routine day of final preparations. The grounds have been transformed following a $260 million expansion that doubled the size of the campus. The center court now seats 11,614 fans. The tournament is expected to draw nearly 300,000 attendees over its 2-week run. Moran has been running this tournament for years. He knows the rhythms, the patterns, the predictable surges in ticket demand that come with big names and big matches. He has dealt with the frenzy surrounding Carlos Alcaraz, the excitement around Coco Gauff, the global appeal of IGA Swiatek. The tournament was named 1000 Level Tournament of the Year by both the ADP and WTA in 2025. He has seen it all, but when his phone rings at 4 a.m., nothing about this day is predictable. The voice on the other end is frantic. It's the head of ticketing. "Bob, you need to come down here now." Moran walks into the ticketing office and finds chaos. Phones are ringing off the hook. Emails are flooding in faster than anyone can read them. The online ticketing system, a sophisticated platform designed to handle massive traffic, has crashed. "What's happening?" Moran asks. The answer leaves him speechless. Alex Eala. Everyone wants to see Alex Eala. Moran stares at the numbers on the screen. Ticket inquiries for Eala's matches have surpassed every other player combined. Not just the Americans, not just the top seeds. Everyone combined. In Washington, tournament chairman Mark Ein had revealed that at least 80% of ticket requests were about when is Alex Eala playing. Filipino fans had bought 5,000 tickets even before the tournament began. The stadium with more than 10,000 seats was sold out thanks to the strong interest of the Filipino fans. In Toronto, the phenomenon reached new heights. Tournament director Carl Hale said Eala had generated upward of 5,000 ticket sales, making the 2,800-seat grandstand court too small for her appearance. Tickets for her first match sold out in just 30 minutes, and they were forced to move her to center court due to her popularity. The moment Eala's appearance was announced, seats sold out within 30 minutes. A sellout crowd of 10,000 plus followed match point. For the first time in 2 decades, the opening Wednesday night match was sold out. Now, Cincinnati was experiencing the same phenomenon, but on a scale that no one had anticipated. The Linder Family Tennis Center's center court holds 11,614 people. The grandstand holds 5,000. The Champions Court holds 2,300. But the demand for Eala's matches was already exceeding the combined capacity of all three. We need to move her matches to center court, someone suggests. We already did that, another staff member replies. It's sold out. Then move her to the grandstand too, that it's sold out. Moran looks at the numbers again. The tournament had expected strong demand for Eala's matches. The Filipina sensation had become a global phenomenon, her fan base growing with every victory, her story resonating with millions around the world. But this was something else entirely. We've never seen anything like this, Moran tells his staff. Not for Federer, not for Nadal, not for Serena. This is different. This is something else entirely. To understand why Bob Moran was left stunned, you have to understand what Alexandra Eala has become. She's not just a tennis player. She is a movement. In Washington, Filipino fans had packed the stadium, their presence so overwhelming that tournament officials were forced to move her matches to center court. The chairman of the tournament revealed that at least 80% of ticket inquiries received in the month before the Washington event concerned the schedule of Eala's match. Organizers revealed that as much as 80% of all ticket sales and phone inquiries were related to her appearance. In Toronto, the phenomenon reached new heights. Her opening match sold out within 30 minutes of being announced. She played in front of a sold-out center court multiple times. The 10,000-seat Sobe Stadium was packed mostly with Filipino fans cheering loudly for Eala, creating an atmosphere that even her opponents appreciated despite the difficult circumstances. One vendor at the Toronto tournament even changed their food offerings to cater for the large Filipino contingent in attendance. The support was so overwhelming that Belinda Bencic, the Swiss star who ended Eala's 7-match winning streak, took a moment after her victory to express her appreciation to the fans who had been cheering against her throughout the night. Eala herself was moved by the support. She had been drawing big crowds and packing arenas from the past few months. The clips of her matches and press conferences were garnering a lot of views, on many occasions more than the top 10 players. She was not only selling tickets, but the demand for her content was surpassing the biggest names in the sport. The numbers were staggering. At the Australian Open, hundreds of fans were turned away from Court 6 as the stands overflowed, forcing many to watch from walkways overlooking the court. Her pre-tournament press conference drew about 171,000 online viewers, dwarfing the roughly 29,000 who tuned in for Carlos Alcaraz or Coco Gauff and the 9,000 for Aryna Sabalenka. The Filipino diaspora had found its champion, and they were showing up in numbers that no tournament director could have predicted. The Filipino fans are incredible, one observer noted. They travel from across the United States, from Canada, from the Philippines itself. They wave their flags. They chant her name. They create an atmosphere that is unlike anything else in tennis. Alex Eala has become a gathering point for Filipinos abroad. From the stands, Filipino supporters waved flags and cheered as Eala completed her comeback victories. They stayed up late, traveled thousands of miles, and spent their hard-earned money to support their heroine. The tickets for these tournaments were not cheap. Filipino migrants were giving up a lot to afford these tickets. And now, in Cincinnati, they were doing it again, in even greater numbers, with even greater passion. Bob Moran watched the demand surge and knew that something extraordinary was happening. The number 17 seed, a player who had never even played the main draw in Cincinnati before, was generating more demand than the number 1 seed. This is unprecedented, Moran told his staff. We need to figure out how to handle this. But there was no way to handle it. The demand was simply too great. August 10th, 2026. The WTA announced the official seedings for the Cincinnati Open. And for the first time in her career, Alexandra Eala had earned a seeding that reflected her status among the sport's elite. Eala, ranked number 20 in the world, was projected as the number 17 seed in the main draw. It was her highest seeding ever in a 1,000-level event, a testament to her meteoric rise. She had earned a first-round bye, meaning she would skip the opening round and begin her campaign in the second round. The seeding was a reflection of her remarkable journey. Just months earlier, she had been ranked outside the top 100. Her Washington Open title had catapulted her into the top 20, adding 500 ranking points to her total. She had defeated a murderer's row of opponents: Olympic gold medalist Zheng Qinwen, defending champion Leylah Fernandez, world number 10 Alina Svitolina, four-time Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka, and world number 3 Jessica Pegula. Now, she was a seeded player at one of the biggest tournaments in the world. And with that seeding came something even more valuable: the attention of millions of fans who wanted to see her play. The announcement of her seeding sent shockwaves through the Filipino community. Social media exploded with excitement. Ticket inquiries surged. The ticketing system, already under pressure from the general demand for the tournament, was overwhelmed. Bob Moran watched the numbers climb and knew that something extraordinary was happening. The number 17 seed, a player who had never even played the main draw in Cincinnati before, was generating more demand than the number 1 seed. "This is unprecedented," Moran told his staff. "We need to figure out how to handle this." But there was no way to handle it. The demand was simply too great. Eala's draw was also generating significant interest. She was placed in a bracket with Zeynep Sonmez, Daria Kasatkina, and seed number 9, Amanda Anisimova. She was projected to meet Anisimova in the third round, with Noskova potentially waiting in the last 16 and Pegula next in the quarterfinals. Every match was a potential blockbuster, and every match was generating massive ticket demand. The tournament starts on August 13th and ends on August 23rd, in time for the U.S. Open. The $7,433,076 prize purse was the largest in tournament history, and the demand for tickets had already broken every record. Moran looked at the numbers again. The tournament had already broken records in 2025, drawing 285,571 fans from all 50 states and 65 countries. The $260 million expansion had doubled the size of the Lindner Family Tennis Center, adding new stadiums, new courts, and new capacity. The tournament was expecting another record year in 2026, with estimates of nearly 300,000 fans walking through the gates. But the demand for Eala's matches had exceeded every projection, every expectation, every conceivable metric. "We've never seen anything like this," Moran said again. The words were becoming a refrain, a mantra of disbelief. August 2026. The Cincinnati Open ticket office. The numbers on the screen told a story that no one could have predicted. The tournament had already broken records in 2025, drawing 285,571 fans from all 50 states and 65 countries. The $260 million expansion had doubled the size of the Lindner Family Tennis Center, adding new stadiums, new courts, and new capacity. The tournament was expecting another record year in 2026, with estimates of nearly 300,000 fans walking through the gates. But the demand for Eala's matches had exceeded every projection, every expectation, every conceivable metric. In Washington, ticket inquiries for Eala's matches had reached 80% of all inquiries received in the month before the event. In Toronto, her matches had sold out within hours. In Cincinnati, the demand was even greater. The Lindner Family Tennis Center's center court holds 11,614 people. But the organizers were receiving requests for tickets that exceeded the capacity of every stadium combined. The grandstand holds 5,000. The Champions Court holds 2,300. But even adding all three together, nearly 19,000 seats, wasn't enough to meet the demand. "We need more seats," someone suggested. "We don't have more seats," Moran replied. "Then we need to add more sessions." "We can't. She's only playing one match at a time." The math was simple and devastating. There were simply not enough seats to accommodate everyone who wanted to see Alex Eala play. The tournament director was left with an impossible choice: disappoint thousands of fans who wanted to see the Filipina sensation, or find a way to create more capacity that didn't exist. The numbers didn't lie. Eala had become the biggest draw in women's tennis. Her matches were generating more demand than any other player in the tournament. The clips of her matches and press conferences were garnering more views than the top 10 players. She was not only selling tickets, but she was breaking records that had stood for decades. "We've never seen anything like this," Moran said again. "Not for Federer, not for Nadal, not for Serena. This is different. This is something else entirely." The tickets for these tournaments were not cheap, but Filipino fans were willing to pay. They were traveling from across the United States, from Canada, from the Philippines itself. They were staying up late, taking time off work, and spending their hard-earned money to support their heroine. Eala's success had also brought large crowds and watch parties, with Filipino fans staying up late to follow her matches. Her story had resonated with millions around the world. She had become a symbol of pride for 90 million Filipinos. And now, in Cincinnati, she was about to take the stage. The demand was massive. The fan base was unstoppable. And the tournament director who thought he had seen it all was left stunned by the sheer scale of the phenomenon. August 2026. Mason, Ohio. The Lindner Family Tennis Center. The Cincinnati Open is underway, but the buzz is not about the top seeds or the defending champions. It's about a 21-year-old from Quezon City who has transformed the tournament before even stepping onto the court. The stands are filled with Filipino flags, the same sea of red, white, and blue that followed Eala from Washington to Toronto and now to Cincinnati. The fans are loud, proud, and unwavering. They have traveled from across the United States, from Canada, from the Philippines itself, to witness history. Tournament director Bob Moran watches from his office, still processing what has happened. The ticket demand has broken every record. The media attention has been unprecedented. The atmosphere is electric. "She's changed everything," Moran tells a reporter. "We've had great players here before. We've had legends. But I've never seen anything like this. The demand, the energy, the passion of these fans. It's unlike anything I've ever witnessed in my career." Eala's second-round opponent, either Magda Linette or Elena Gabriela Ruse, will walk onto center court to face not just a tennis player, but a movement. The crowd will be overwhelmingly behind the Filipina. The chants of Laban, Alex, will echo through the stadium. The flags will wave. The energy will be palpable. And Eala, the young woman at the center of it all, will take it all in stride. She has been here before. She knows what it means to carry the hopes of a nation on her shoulders. She has done it in Washington, in Toronto, at Wimbledon. She will do it again in Cincinnati. The tournament director who thought he had seen it all has been left stunned. The ticketing system that was supposed to handle anything has been overwhelmed. The stadiums that were expanded to accommodate more fans are still not enough. Alexandra Eala has done what no one thought possible. She has turned a tennis tournament into a cultural phenomenon. She has united a diaspora. She has inspired a generation. Eala will have a first-round bye as the number 17 seed, getting an extra day of preparation to await the winner in the round of 64. She's expected to plunge back to action on Friday, depending on the first-round schedule. The tournament runs from August 13th to August 23rd, and when she finally steps onto the court, the world will be watching. The Filipino fans will wave their flags. The tennis establishment will hold its breath. And Bob Moran, the tournament director who thought he had seen it all, will watch in awe as the Alex Eala phenomenon unfolds before his eyes. From the cracked courts of Quezon City, where tennis was a luxury, to the center courts of Cincinnati, where she has broken every ticket record in tournament history, Alexandra Eala has proven that champions don't just win matches, they move mountains. From the cracked courts of Quezon City to the center courts of Cincinnati, where she has broken every ticket record in tournament history, Alexandra Eala has proven that champions don't just win matches, they move mountains. And Bob Moran, the tournament director who thought he had seen it all, now knows that the Alex Eala phenomenon is unlike anything the tennis world has ever witnessed. The demand is massive. The fan base is unstoppable. And the future is just beginning.